Ito mga kapatiran, I would just like to go ahead and start. I was really planning to speak on a different subject, but I feel
Gusto mo makinig kay Brother Richard Emperado?
I have to repeat or summarize
Galing ka
again
natulog?
what I have
Kala ko
presented
lumabas ka eh. Pumunta kasi ako
last week, okay? Kasi I'm trying to lay down the foundation of what um, a happy marriage should be. Let me start by saying this. The older we get, the more we need. The older we get, the more we need to be more happier in our relationship. Husband and wife don't need to look and go through their relationship like a torture, just like that's why I don't like the word companionship. It's not just companionship. It is really um, enjoying being immersed in the marital bliss. Okay? I will start by defining the word bliss, which is B-L-I-S-S. Okay? I know we use the words so much the word bliss, which is B-L-E. Okay? But tonight we'll be using that word B-L-I-S-S. Bliss literally means, if you have your dictionary in front of you or later on you can check, bliss, B-L-I, means extreme joy. Extreme joy. That's why I would say the classic preacher who would use that word, who understand it, really mean that marriage should be a relationship where we will experience that extreme joy. It's not just joy, it's not just being nice, but extreme joy. Everything from the spiritual to the psychological, emotional, and physical relationship. That's why I would like to start tonight also by asking you, as far as the bliss is concerned, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want everyone who is married right now to remember, okay? Remember the day of your wedding. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your joy? Where is that feeling of bliss? That marital bliss? I think all of you would say, brother, nasa 10. It's 10. And that's true. Some would even say, it is off the mark. Ang ibig sabihin sa off the mark na hindi na masusukat sa 1 to 10, brad. Lampas, sobrang-sobra, nasa baka 17, 18, 19. And that's really true. That's the reality. At the time of the wedding, itong dalawa who are so in love, talagang there is an extreme joy na maramdaman nila. Unless if the marriage is pre-arranged or what we call the shotgun wedding na napilitan lang tayo. Pero when it is our choice, we choose to marry the person we love. So, nasa 10. Ang next na question ko ngayon, at the time of the wedding, nasa 10. Pero how about the next question, ngayon na? Now, where is it now? Where is the level now? After 5 years of marriage, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you could even have been married for 50 years. Where is it now on a scale of 1 to 10? Kayo lang ang makakasagot. Pero sa aking experience, sa aking pag-conduct sa workshop na ito, itong Marriage Enrichment Seminar, napapansin ko over the years, kung tatanungin natin, where is it now? Bumababa. Yung malalaki, Sabihing 7 kasi ganun ang lalaki, we presume a lot of things, pero yung babae sabihin na lang na 2 at 3 na lang ang level of happiness. Okay? So the first question, what was the level when you got married? Ang sagot 10. Pero where is it now? Ang sagot mababa na. Palagay, iba-iba sa atin. Yung iba nasa 4, nasa 5. Pero the third question is, what will it take to raise it back to number 10 again? And I would like to ask you the question, is this possible or this is just a wishful thinking? Do you think we can raise it back to 10 and sustain it all the days of our lives because we have made the promise and the commitment to God at the time of our wedding that until both of you shall live? When I solemnized wedding, I have solemnized just 2 Sundays ago. That's it. We made the vows that will you take this woman to be your lawful and wedded wife, to have and to hold, to love and to cherish in sickness or in health, for richer or for poorer, for better or for worse. When they made that vow, it should be a vow of a lifetime till both of you shall live. The thing is, we have now the option, since we don't know when we are going to leave this world behind. How about if you will have another 20 years from now before you pass away, or even 30 years? How do we ought to spend those 30 years? Should we just be content of having a joy or happiness that is 3 or 4 or 5? Why not push it to number 10 and sustain it? And let me tell you this, happiness in marriage is a decision. Even love is a decision. We choose to be happy, we choose to love. Kasi not every time we feel positive to our spouse. Lalo na pag nag-aaway, lalo na pag you feel na nagkamali yung partner natin, sabi natin, bumababa. Did I made a mistake of marrying this person? Yeah. Alam nyo, ang feeling is erratic. Feeling is fluctuating. 10, 2, 9, 3, it's fluctuating. No matter what you feel, the point is, you have to decide to love the person. Because love is the decision. After making the decision later on, the feeling will come back. That's it. A lot of people today, when they feel like angry and their emotional connection will come down from 10 to 2 only, they will just jump out of ship. They like to be separated. They like to divorce, like in a lot of cases in the United States, and then they will try to start again another relationship, only finding out that it's still not working. And they will divorce again, and divorce again, and divorce again. A lot of us marry our wives, you marry your husband because you love them from the very beginning. The key that we are trying to do here, like tomorrow at Salawag Church, we will be doing a more intensive group processing. I will sit down with at least 12 to 14 of them, 7 couples, and listen each one for 20 to 30 minutes upang may palabas. Kung bumaba na yun, mayroon niyang mga dahilan, ipalabas natin ang mga pain. You know, being honest and being truthful about this is the first key to recovery upang makabalik tayo. Yan. Let me tell you this, walang perfect marriage. And this is, itong ginagawa natin ngayon, is the most non-judgmental. I don't judge people. I just listen and try to navigate them na maipalabas yung naramdaman na yun na sakit upang babalik. Yan. We don't judge. I have no right to judge. We listen, we paraphrase, we process hanggang lalabas yun. The point is, it doesn't matter how long have you been married. You can still be living in the, I would say, in the clouds. You can still be in number 9 or number 10 level kahit 70 years old na kayo, kahit 80 years old na kayo. But let me tell you this, that your marriage can go down even if you're just married for 3 years or 5 years by disregarding that principle, by forgetting to understand that love is a decision. You are really bound to love your partner no matter how you feel. And that feeling, good feeling will come back. Wow. Ngayon, uh, what are the recommendations of the expert to keep that relationship loving and lasting until the end? It's not an accident, but rather it is a decision. Una sa lahat, bago sabihin, kasi may ipat, there are 5 secrets to a fulfilling and loving relationship. But bago ako pupunta doon, i-review ko muna ang fundamental about the difference of a man and a woman based on physiological principles, based on biological principle, based on the psychology principle. So this is more of the psychology of relationship. We will start with the human brain. Okay? The human brain is said to be 1.3 kilograms. That's how heavy most of the human brain is. We're supposed to have the largest brain to all the mammals and animals that live on the face of this earth. Tayo ang pinakamalaki. Except there's a creature that is so smart and intelligent na mas malaki sa atin, ang brain. 1.6 kilos. Sa atin, mga 1.3 lang. Itong 1.6 kilos, isa lang to na creature. Wala nang iba. It is the bottlenose dolphin. Napakalaki ang kanilang brain. No wonder why this is considered as the second smartest creature next to human. Mas matalino pa sila kaysa ape, itong mga dolphins na ito. It's amazing how many stories are being accounted or recounted that how these special creatures help fishermen who ship or boat sank on the sea. How they scared away sharks and help humans to survive. And that's really true. Sharks are scared of dolphins, but they have a heavier brain than us. But anyway, going back to the human brain. I have pointed out last Friday that we are so special. The psalmist said in Psalm chapter 139, verse 13 to 14, that man, God created us so special inside the mother womb. And we, according to psalmist, we are wonderfully and fearfully made. I would like to repeat that. Every one of us is wonderfully and fearfully made. Whenever I read this verse, I have goosebumps. Dahil sa mapipil ko na grabe talaga. Hindi tayo ordinary na ginawa ng Panginoon. This human brain, lahat tayo ngayon, it is estimated mayroon tayong, sa ating brain, mayroon tayong 100 billion cells. Could you imagine that? Sa loob nitong skull natin or sa jokingly, inside this coconut shell is a brain that has 100 billion cells. Kaya it's amazing what the brain can do. Amazing. Just like if I ask you, remember the time, your happiest time when you were 5 years old. Wala ngang isang seconds maalala niyo. It travels so fast, it processes so fast. It has the super fast microprocessor. It has the super high defined visual recorder. Grabe talaga ang human brain. Kaya sabihin ko na please take care, lalo na yung sumasakay ng motorsiklo, take care of that special gift. Take care of that brain. Buy a very good helmet to protect that head, okay? Because that's part of our duty to the Lord. Because we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and that includes our brain. So tayo ng magandang helmet. Huwag yung manipis na kahit itapon mo lang dyan, nabibiak na. Yan. Anyway, that's besides the point. Na, could you imagine, nabanggit ko yata, I think probably Nell and Sheila are also with us tonight. Nabanggit ko kanina, ano ba yung pagkasabi ko, tungkol sa brain, na, okay. In the past, in the 90s, it is said na 60 billion lang. Pero every day, could you imagine this? The brain is one of the most studied and the most researched part of the body. Every day, Psychology Today publication, and all those researchers, the neuroscientists, there are more and more things to discover about the brain. Anyway, we have about 100 billion cells. And they are called the neurons. Neurons, kaya mayroon tayong neurologist, yung nag-study sa brain. At yung mga surgeon na nag-open sa ating brain, tinatawag sila na neurosurgeon. Pero this independent, seemingly independent cells are being connected to a much more neuroconnectors. Mayroong nagkukonek dito. Ang tawag dito, ang number daw ng neuroconnectors is even more. 100 trillion neuroconnectors. Sino bang pwedeng magbilang dito? Kahit lang 1 trillion lang. Na pag ilagay daw natin ang pera galing dito sabihin na maumpisa sa monumento, papuntang North Expressway hanggang sa dulo ng Pilipinas sa Tugigaraw, yung 100 trillion, idugtog-dugtog yan, hindi pa maubos. Ganun kahaba ang 100 trillion. Anyway, going back to that, we are really so special. I want you to understand, my brothers and sisters, we are so special. We are no ordinary creature. We are not a product of accident. And the way we process things now in our brain is through the so-called the 5 senses. It's still that haven't been changed. Scientists today, even some people would introduce in the so-called the paranormal, ito bang mga superstition na mayroon na tayong pang-anim na sense, pero actually 5. Okay? Itong mga senses na ito tinatawag na touch, taste, sight, smell, at saka hearing. Okay? That's how we process information through the 5 senses. Matanong ko kayo, kasi dapat maintindihan natin ito kasi most of the time dito ang differences. Bakit maraming conflict? Bakit naghiwalay? Dahil a failure to understand the other person. Out of the 5 senses, what do you think is the strongest sense of a woman? The strongest sense of a woman, ito. It is the sense of hearing. Women are auditory. Yun ang pinakamalakas. Kaya nga expert recommended, dahil women's strongest sense is hearing, we need to let them hear the very nice and the very sweet and the very soft language. Kaya nga yung mga husband, dapat ipagpatuloy natin na tawagin sila ng mga terms of endearment, honey, sweetheart, love, mama, beautiful, or whatever you call to show affection in a soft, tender way, maganda yan sa babae. The number one bad thing that we can do to a woman, sa ating wife, that will lower down her self-esteem, that will make her lose her self-confidence, is by screaming at them. Sigawan sila, pagalitan sila. Kaya ang binanggit ko kay John na yung latest research na few days ago nabasa ko sa Psychology Today, na kahit nga itong criticism, alam niyo yung criticism, mayroon daw, like ko narinig, mayroon daw constructive at mayroon negative. Pati pa constructive criticism, hindi yan ang key. Kasi i-interpretin sa babae na nako, he is attacking me. Yung mga magsabi na, alam mo, okay naman itong linuluto mo, pero sana linagyan mo ng mas marami-raming magic sarap. Parang ganon. Instead of doing that, you just hug your wife and say, I appreciate what you are doing. At saka baka, sweetheart, next time, ganito. So, nasa paraan yan. Maintain the softness, maintain the tenderness when you speak to your wife. Huwag sigawan kasi auditory sila. Gusto na yung tenderness. Saan ba natin? Nasa Bible ba yan? Nasa Bible. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. Be compassionate, be kind, and tender-hearted, forgiving one another as Jesus forgive you. Halos lahat, I think, wala pa. One. Itong mga principles sa psychology, nako, nasa Bible. Tinawag na ito ng ibang mga terms pero they are in the Word of God. They are there. So, auditory ang babae. Kaya alagaan natin, huwag nating sigawan sila. Kung hindi, tawagin natin silang mahal. Ano ba yan sa Ilocano? Yung mahal, ano yun, Brother John? Yung mahal, pag price yan, nangina. O yun nga nangina yung balasang at saka wife. Very, very expensive sila. So, we have to really take care of them. We will pay the cost. Okay, on the other hand, ang lalaki naman, ano ang pinaka-strongest sense namin? We have all these 5 senses. Hindi pa sabihin na one sense lang tayo. We use 5 senses interchangeably. We shift from one sense to the other, from the hearing to the touching to the smelling. Pero ano talaga ang pinaka-strongest? Kung sa babae, listening, ang sa lalaki naman is sight. Men are visual. If women are auditory, men are visual. We love what we see. Pinaka-strong talaga yan. Kaya tingnan mo yung mga lalaki ng teenager pa, makita tayo ng, nako, ang ganda. So, sino ba nag-appreciate? Sino bang sabi, wow, ang sexy. Kaya we love what we see. Ang recommendation sa mga expert ganito, never drop down your guard, kayong mga babae at kayong mga asawa. Kasi kompetensya ninyo ang lahat ng babae sa labas. Pati pa yung nagbibinta ng tinapa at bagoong, kompetensya natin yun. Pati yung nasa Divisoria, nagbibinta ng mga kakanin, kompetensya ninyo yun. Ang ibig ko sabihin, ganito, dahil men are visual, kayong mga wives, ang recommendation is, take care of yourself. Maintain that nice, beautiful look. Kaya pala hindi aksidente yung Proverbs 31. Yung sabi na, the blessed woman is she who wake up while the chickens for the rooster are still crowing. Wake up ahead of your husband. Take a shower, take a bath, Put on your nice clothes. Put a little makeup, okay? Put that lipstick. You might be smiling or laughing about this, but that will work. Pagising ng husband nyo ang nakita, wow, ang ganda ng wife ko. Kahit kahit ilang taon na, maganda pa rin. Yan. Kasi pag hindi mo ginagawa yan, lahat na babae is a kompetensya. Iba ang lalaki. We operate also subconsciously. Kung minsan, no matter how good we are as Christians, kung minsan, ang ating subconscious, ang ating drive, ang umiiral gaya ng thirst at hunger. Ganyan. At yung basic human instinct na pag hindi nagpapaganda ang misis, tapos dumadaan siya doon sa nagbibinta ng talong, nagbibinta ng bagoong o kakanin, younger pa, tapos naglagay pa ng makeup, naglagay ng lipstick, nakapunitil pa yung buhok, nakaayos, ay bigla-bilang lilingon yung husband nyo. Kaya I understand that, na talagang we have the word of God, we have to decide to do what is right. Pero kaya ngayong temptation, masyadong malakas. Ang tinitira dyan sa temptation, yung ating mga instinct, yung ating mga drives. So if that's the case, be beautiful. Okay? Take care of yourself. Maraming mga objection. Pag nag-seminar ako, sabi na, lalo na doon sa mga probinsya, brother, paano magluluto pa kasi ko madudumihan yung aking shirt. Yung aking makeup baka, anong tawag dito, will melt na matanggal o ano, o magpapakain pa ko ng baboy, brother. Don't worry about that. Walang problema yung smell dyan. Pag madumihan, okay, lalabhan natin. Basta you are putting the effort. So, nakikita ninyo? Na dyan na mismo nakaibahan. We drop down our guard. Ang lalaki sa katagalan na sigawan na yung misis, ay that will root down her esteem. Mawala ang kanyang self-respect. At itong asawa naman, ang tagal na natin, matanda tayo, hindi na nag-alaga sa sarili, ay ang visual needs ng lalaki ay hindi na nami-meet. Okay? Pangalawang sense. What is the second strongest sense of a woman? Na ibanggit ko ito sa mga secrets mamaya. Yung sense of touch. Ilang touch ang kailangan ng babae to be emotionally happy. In fact, not just emotionally healthy, but they can even be physically healthy if they are touched adequately. Yung sa tamang pagtatouch sa karami. Ilan? Kung touch sa babae ang second strongest, sa lalaki naman ang sense of smell. We like to smell. Gusto natin yung perfume na mas anong kuhan dyan, Avon ba? Ito namang malalaki, sabihin ko sa mga brother, invest on that. Huwag masyado tayong magkukuripot. Ano? Kahit once a year lang sa birthday, bilhan nating expensive perfume. Kasi tayo din ang makinabang dyan. We like to smell our wives. Nice, sweet smelling. Okay? Okay. Punta na tayo ngayon. What are the 5 secrets na i-share ko ngayon? I've spoken this in the past but I would like to review this tonight. Upang pagpunta ko sa inyong congregation and then we'll sit down for a day without interruption, walang bata, naka-arrange na kung sinong mga alaga sa mga anak. I'll spend 30 minutes per person with only 14 persons yung ating pag-group processing. At least mayroon na kayong foundation ngayon. The 5 secrets to a loving and lasting relationship, yung una na nabanggit ko na hindi ito masyadong matagal, is softness. Softness. Huwag yung bato. Huwag yung rock style na pagtawag. Softness. Lalo na sa babae. Tender-hearted. Compassionate. Love. Pangga. So, sa Bisaya, langga. Mahal. Ano, Brother John? Ano nga yung Ilocano sa mahal? Ayatan ka? Ay, atin, yun pala ang pagtawag ni Brother John lagi kay Sister Chona, pero Sister Chona naman ay hindi makaintindi, so hindi yun obra dahil Bisaya. Pero sa mga Ilocano, maganda yan. Tell them you love them. Softness. Huwag yung sigaw. Huwag yung galit. Yan. Okay. Pangalawa, understanding. Itong understanding may sound so simple pero yan ang nag-stabilize sa relationship. Instead of judging, instead of giving up, you understand. Understanding. Yun ang pinag-usapan natin. Na ang babae, hindi lalaki. Kailan nila ng softness. Yan ang understanding. You know what? It's good to go through self-discovery during sa ating mga later on ating processing. Itong babae at lalaki, ang babae daw, according to expert, mas makinis ang kanilang skin. That's really true. For some reason, God designed their skin to be like that. They have smoother skin than men. Ano ba yun sa Tagalog? Makinis yung sa babae, medyo magaspang yung sa lalaki. But do not be fooled dahil underneath that smooth skin, their thermal layer of fats, yung magandang fats ito, are much thicker than men. Kaya ito daw mga babae, according to expert, they can survive better in colder weather. Okay kayo sa Alaska, okay kayo sa Arctic, okay kayo sa Canada. Kasi ang thermal insulation under your dermis and epidermis, yan ang mga technical terms na mas makapal kaysa lalaki. When it comes to pain, sino bang mas tolerant? Mas tolerant ang babae sa pain. Mula pa ng maliit ako, naalala ko na yan. Hanggang ngayon, kahit yung mga malalaki. Ang mga babae, pag mayroon ng tumuturok ba yan? Injection, yan ang vaccination ng grade 3 ako sa 69, ay, ang mga lalaki umiiyak na. Ang mga babae parang, gaganon lang yan. That's why, sinadya ito ng Panginoon kasi kayo ang mga anak eh. You are more pain tolerant than men. There are so much more to understand among women. Isa sa mga latest, ito 3 days ago lang ito, bago itong napublish. Just last week, could you imagine that? Kasi the world of psychology just keep researching every day. Binabanggit ito, and it's very interesting kasi this has been already a center of controversy in the past na tinatawag ba na yung equal, fair division of labor. Na sa bahay, dapat may division of labor. Hindi yang lang babae lahat, ang lalaki din. Yan. Lalo na pag you are both working, o kahit you are not both working, there is a psychology of dividing the labor. Yan. Na the study 300 respondents na mga babae. And it is being connected to sexual fulfillment at satisfaction. Direct tayo magsalita mga kapatid. Don't never think na nagbabastos tayo dito or malicious. Sinabihin ang study, what's the correlation between sexual satisfaction and man helping the chores and the work at the house? Ano ba? Paghuhugas, mop ng floor, pagluluto, ano ba ang psychology? Ang nangyari pala, once a man is helping his wife at home, he is sending the message that you matter to me. Gusto kong alagaan ka. Gusto kong tulungan kita. Gusto kong hindi ka masyadong ma-stress sa gawain sa bahay. You are sending that message. And that is very empowering because the woman will feel good. When she feels good, the more she is responsive to sex. It's more fulfilling. Kasi ganito, prank ako. Ang problema ngayon sa mga lalaki, sila lang nag-enjoy. The wife hindi nag-enjoy. Because we failed to touch their heart. We need to touch their heart first. Itong tinatawag na act of service, pagtulong sa bahay pala, napakalaging halaga. No? Taking care. And then surprise them with gifts o ano dyan na gagawin natin. If you touch their hearts, that wonderful, fulfilling sex will follow. Pero if we don't, wala. The more and more na we need to understand them. Kasi lalaki, i-explain ko yan bukas, pero let me share this to you. Ito dang sexual, sabi nating desire ng lalaki will peak, tataas yan at age 18. And then, it will go down at age, 90. Hindi pala bumababa yan. Maintain yan kahit 40, 50, 60, 70. Yung sexual desire. Okay, I'll explain it more later on sa ating actual na processing. Pero ang point is like that. Yan ang lalaki. Ang babae, you need your heart to be touched. If you want also the man to be happy, kasi man is full of this strong, dry, hormone-driving testosterone. Talaga. Ayaw na lalaki yung sabing companionship lang. No. Man, marry. That's very important for him. Itong sexual drive. Okay? Pupunta tayo dyan. Pero ang ibig sabihin, we need to understand each other. We need to be open to studies, to research from the past and now, the advanced research to help us understand each other because understanding is one of the key. There are so much more. So first is softness. Next is understanding. The third is forgiveness. Forgiveness. Wow. Masyadong kailangan yun. The two most important words is I'm sorry. And the two most important reassuring answer is it's okay from the wife or from the husband. Lahat tayo magkakamali. Kailangan yung forgiveness. Kaya hindi accident yung sinasabi sa Ephesians, sabi ni Paul, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go upon your wrath. Pwede magalit. Pero dapat natin na aayusin ka yan, i-resolve yan. Hindi yung kinabukasan pa, patlong araw, pang-apat ng araw. Kasi ito palang pag we are offended, pag kayo nasaktan, para ito palang kasalanan parang tali, tinatalian yung puso mo. Pag hindi yan na antay, hindi yan na sabi nating loosen yung tali, kinabukasan problema naman hanggang another tali. Tali ang tali. Kaya ang dami ng tali kasi we cannot forgive. Masuffocated na tayo. Kaya stress, trauma, hanggang it will lead to diseases, ulcer, heart disease, dahil hindi tayo maka-forgive. Forgiveness is very important and we have to forgive every day. Okay? Kahit nga sa ating kasama, friend to friend, male to male, female to female. In the church, we need to forgive. Huwag yung babaonin natin hanggang sa okay. Mali yan. That's the worldly standard. That's not God's standard. God's standard is every day. We have to forgive one another. Lalo na ang husband and wife. Kasi pwede magkamali ang asawa. At ang wife, pwede ding magkamali ang husband. Importante yung forgiveness dahil it is untying the knot. Tinatanggal ang tali. Ano ginagawang, I don't know the Tagalog, but it's untying. That means hindi na siya nakatali, kundi nagiging straight na siya na rope. Yan, ibig sabihin literally. So, the first one was softness. The next one is understanding. The third secret is forgiveness. The fourth secret is touch. Remember this acronym SUFT. Softness, understanding, forgiveness, and touch. If I will ask you, how many touches does a woman need? Your wife needs every day to stay emotionally and psychologically and physically healthy. Naku, itong touch pala, napaka simple, libre lang pero very powerful. How many touches? Sabihin ko powerful, kasali na yung health. Mas healthy sila yung tinatouch. In John Hopkins Hospital, there was a study made uh, with little babies. Room A at Room B. Ang Room A, yung mga babies doon, pinapainom ng gatas, lahat na, change of diapers, and everything. The same exactly with babies in Room B at John Hopkins University Hospital. Itong A, linilisan lang, binibigyan ng gatas, chinichange ang diaper, pero hindi sila tinatouch. Itong B, pareho exactly ang ginagawa, ang kaibahan lang, tinatouch yung mga bata. Kinikeris ang likod, ang mukha, in 1 week time. Madaling nakita ang resulta na yung hindi tinatouch ng mga baby, maraming nagkakasakit. Itong tinatouch ng mga baby sa Room B, mas healthy. Human touch is very important. You need to do that to your wife. Okay? Tayong malalaki, sabihin ko, hindi natin kasi yan strong need eh. Kuminsa nga, ayaw pa natin. Pag hinawakan natin ang kamay sa ating brother na parang biro-biroan, sabihin pa, ikaw noon para kang bakla, pahawak-hawak ka pa sa kamay. We react differently. Yung men, Pero babae, yan ang kailangan. They breathe that. It's like the air they breathe. They need touches to stay emotionally, psychologically, and physically healthy every day. How many touches do you do to your wife? Itong ating mga brothers ngayon nakikinig. Do you touch them? According to expert, a woman needs at least 20, I repeat, 20 meaningful touches. Huwag yung 1, 2, tinatap lang 1, 2, 3, 4, no. Kailangan yung meaningful, the squeeze of the hand, aakbayan, ihag natin sila pag uwi sa bahay, nagluluto, bigla lang sa likod tayo, ihag natin. Yan. Caress the hair, kailangan yung touches. Very, very important. I would like to share this because when I went to China, I was asked to do counseling to this, I would say, couple who may be the key to evangelizing China because the husband is very smart. He memorized the whole New Testament in Mandarin and very proficient in English. The wife is a journalism major, very beautiful, very strong woman, and she doesn't care meeting me. She just told her husband, if you want counseling, go alone. So he came to me. We were in his office. That's where we sleep also. He has a bigger office. And mayroon ding room, bathroom doon din kami natutulog. Pero anyway, that afternoon I do counseling to him alone. The wife would not like to come to join. Kaya ito, ang ginagawa ko, sabi ko, ano bang gagawin ko? Kasi ang problema nila, malapit na mag-divorce eh. In China, kahit 1 week marriage, you can divorce. Ito sila in the brink of divorce na. Kaya, somebody was asking me, please come. At nangyari ngayon, ginagawa ko itong sinabi ko sa inyo. Sabi ko, ang pangalan, sabi ko, hindi ko lang bagitin ang pangalan, okay? Because we want privacy. confidence na sabihin ko lang, ganito, how many touches do you think your wife needs? For some reason, iwan ko whether he was just joking, but Chinese are not very affectionate in China. Like touching is not like a regular thing. But ang answer niya, 100 touches. Really? How did you know that? It's more than what experts recommended. So I told him, okay, when you return home to your condominium tonight, to your wife, I want you to apply this, okay? But before that, I cite the number 5 principle, persistent. Means at first when she would not respond because she is mad or what, be persistent. Do it over and over again. So when he went home that night, his wife was cooking and he started putting his arm over her shoulder. And tinatawag sa Bisaya dito, giwakli lang. Ibang quickly tinanggal yung kamay ng asawa. What's happening? For her, it is strange because he never do that before. Pero dahil naalala niya na persistence, inulit mo na naman yan. This time, hinahawakan niya, kinikaris yung hair. What's going on with you? What did that Filipino do to you? Parang ganun ang pagkasabi. Pangatlo, hindi siya nag-give up. Hinahag niya. And then, ayaw pa rin. Pang-apat, hinahawakan niya ang kamay. Very firmly, squeeze niya. At lumingon yung wife sa kanya. At ang nakita niya sa kanyang wife are tears in her eyes. At ang sinabi, you know what? You have never done this to me before, but I love it and that's what I've been wishing that you will do. Kasi women, ganito kasi ang nature ng babae, hindi yan mag-demand. Dapat tayong lalaki, tayo lang din ang with common sense figure that out. Hindi yan hindi na kasi maganda eh. Pag hinahawakan natin, let's say, pwede bang hawakan mo ang kamay ko? Pwede bang akbayan mo ako? Parang wala na yung meaning sa babae na ginawa natin dahil pinagsabihan tayo. Hindi. We need to do it in our own initiative. Kaya, to make the story short, nung hinawakan niya ang kamay, pang-apat na bisis, lumingon sa kanya at umiiyak talaga. Na yan pala ang wini-wish niya. To make the story short, sabi na ng wife, tomorrow I want you to invite that Filipino and his son, because my son was with me in Nanjing, China. Of course, she's a very good cook. The Central China cuisine, maanghang pero ang sarap. So there we talk, we become friends, and until now. So they are now doing their little counseling wherever they go. When they mention about touch, they send me video. People in China where they are visiting like church are just laughing because it's not very common to them about these touches. But anyway, nakikita ko na effective talaga ang touch. Pag you are not doing that yet, you better do it. Kailangan yan. Yan ang parang the air, the breath. At panglima, ito ng persistence. Pag nung una ayaw, dahil nagalit sa'yo, do not give up. Ulit yan, pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat. Be persistent to apply. So itong apat, softness, understanding, forgiveness, attach, and then panglima, persistent. Do it all over again. Until finally you will melt your heart's wife. Na lalambot yan at mas mahalin ka pa niya. You are talking about fulfilling sex life, satisfying, is not an accident. Do the fundamental principle. Softness, understanding, forgiveness, touch, and be persistent. One day, kayong hindi maka-attend bukas, anyway, Brother June is here, you are always online with the CPI or the kasandal, we can make arrangement that someday I can visit your congregation. All you need to do is to have at least 12, the most 14, 6 or 7 couples. You can even invite non-members. Magiging outreach na ito. Ito ang slowly ginagawa ko na sa Negros. Invite natin yung may mga kailangang tulungan na mag-asawa. Kasi pag matulungan natin sila dito sa kanilang marriage, with their emotional struggle, I believe, mas open sila sa gospel. Yeah. Okay? So yun, ang aking lesson for tonight na we need you you need to love your wife. You need to love your husband. Kung magkagalitan kayo, do not give up. You have to decide to love him, to love her no matter what. And apply the principle of softness, understanding, forgiveness, and touch. And be persistent. I think that's about it tonight. So if you may have any clarification or question, ulitin ko lang yung the latest na sharing of responsibilities, napakaganda yan. I-recommend ko yan. I will apply it myself. Let me tell you, ako din, just like you, I am also human. I have also some stress. I have also some trauma. No? Hindi ako nasabing, siyempre Richard, wala na yung problema dyan. Mayroon din. I talk about yung aking yung mga stress. Malapit na ako mamatay na aksidente. Kung nakatulog ako sa aking sasakyan, bigla na lang makadaan ng batse, yung bang potholes, na parang iba ang sound. Naku, parang gigising ako na gulat na gulat. Ano? Parang gano'n ba? Everybody of us needs healing. We need to be healed. Itong mga parang medicine, parang physical therapy, parang surgery, itong psychology din gano'n. Sa Panginoon yan lahat na ginagamit upang mas maintindihan pa natin who we are. Self-discovery, awareness of oneself and awareness of others. Kung minsan you stay together for, I would say, maybe 30 years, pero baka mayroon pang hindi mo alam sa iyong wife. And it happened. By the way, yun nga bago ko ito tapusin, nakwento ko ito yung tungkol sa Mindanao, sa Trento. Well-to-do, big house, cars, mga anak, professional na. Pero nung tinanong ko, one day of pressing, paghapon sabi ko, sis, is there anything in your heart that you wish your husband will know, but you cannot just verbalize that you've been keeping it for the last 30 years of your married life? Biglang tumatahimik yung sister, sabi niya, yes, brother. At biglang lang, una umisang pumatak ng luha. Pinalaw ako, sabi ko, can you please elaborate? Ang husband na nandyan, kasi partner yun nagugulat. Parang bang naging defensive yung husband. At sabi ng wife, yes, brother, because I don't feel his love completely. Yung sinabi yun, umiyak din ang husband. Okay, sis, go on sharing to us. Sabi niya, yes, but because he doesn't touch me enough. Pagpunta kami ng Butuan City, doon sa mall, o anong gagawin namin, pag-cross namin sa pedestrian lane, hindi nga hinahawakan ang kamay. Hindi ako inaakbayan. He's a good provider, he's a businessman, pero hindi ko masyadong na-feel ang love niya. Dahil hindi niya ako tinatouch. Could you imagine that? Na more than 30 years of marriage, hindi pala ng husband na ganun pala ang wife niya, ang need niya. So we need to do our little research. Okay? Or if you want to know more, basjay yourself. If you have a Wi-Fi, go to Psychology Today. Look for anything about psychology of marriage like that. You will find more details. Okay? But by the way, the processing is not there. The processing is like one day, like Saturday, where we sit down from 8 to 5 in the afternoon. Processing. drawing out the pain, navigating. I don't judge, I don't lecture, I just navigate. And once again, I will close this by saying that uh, 1 Corinthians 15:58, that every effort we do, including this, it will not be in vain. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Thank you so much. And if you have any question, we may allow like maybe 2 questions or 3 questions or clarification. Thank you.
Hey, classmates, any question? We welcome Brother Jonathan.
Ada, may tanong Brad? Si Brother Jonathan. Ano apelido ni Brother Jonathan?
Napaltas. Di welcome lang natin siya.
I-welcome. Okay. So,
Pero kung may tanong siya, okay naman eh.
wala yatang tanong si Brad kasi he is a very good husband. Ano? You're really applying these principles. Wow. Okay, Brother Jonathan. Hindi yung Jonathan Pagaraw. Iba din yun.
Faldas ito.
Wow.
Yan si Brother Ramon Masa. Humabol siya.
Brother Ramon Masa. Okay. Taga
There
saan
were
kayo, Brad? Taga saan si Brother Ramon?
Bacolod kid.
Sa Bacolod. Di
Subong araman siya di sa Juan Cavite.
Pasimanwa.
Manwa, Brad. Bacolod, sa kabila kay na Brother Montoyo.
Makaunta piyaya.
Oo, piyaya, sinasugbo.
Butong kag ibos.
Piyak lang kamo eh. Piyak lang kamo na dampi.
Wow. Very good. Sa Oriental ang sa akin, Brad, pero ano ito? Ang pagitan lang ay bundok ng Kanlaon. Madali lang kayong
Kanlaon
punta.
lang. Shortcut lang sa Kanlaon.
Oh, maganda. Wow. Marami palang member talaga sa kwan, sa CPA at sa Kasandal. Oh. Si Sister Alicia Velasquez, Alugbati. Sister Analisa Palacio.
Yan ang misis ni Brother Jesse.
Ganun ba?
Hiwalay sila ngayon pero parehas silang nanonood.
Ganun ba? So nasaan
Si Brother Jesse nasa Los Baños eh.
Tapos si Sister Analisa?
Sa bahay siguro nila.
Okay. Mabuti yun sis, malayo kayo kaya pwede kitang tanungin.
Gandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi. Nasaan ba, on a scale of 1 to 10, nasaan ang iyong joy? Your level of happiness?
Nasa 10. Nasa 11 po.
Aba!
Ang galing pala ni ang husband mo, si Brother Kuan. Yutot ko yung Brad JC. Nako, very good. So,
Brad,
yeah. Brad,
may sinasabi sila, there is no perfect relationship.
100 sa akin, Brad. 100.
There is no perfect relationship daw.
ang
At
iyong...
the time, sabi yan, there is no perfect relationship. Pero, sa pagsasama nyo, minsan may mga tinatawag na differences kayo between isa sa inyo.
Tama.
Pero, paano mo maramdaman? Siyempre kung minsan ang mga wife mo hindi nagsasabi ng kanyang gustong i-expect sa'yo, paano mo maramdaman na ano talaga ang gusto niya na mabigyan mo siya ng happiness? Kasi mahirap kung minsan na gusto mo rin yung mga tinatawag body language natin, pero kung minsan ano man gagawin natin, minsan na gusto natin mapasaya siya, minsan hindi siya nagre-response. How you can mag-meet kayo sa isang bagay na in the long run, hindi na kayo magsisihan.
I see.
Minsan doon kayo nagdarating mag-away kayo, doon na magkakaroon kayo, wag mo na i-expect na doon na kayo magsisihan, ay ito hindi mo ginagawa sa akin. Pero during the time kung hindi mo na in the process, hindi mo na nakikita na ito pala ang gusto nyo, paano mo maramdaman in your present life habang nagsasama kayo?
Okay. Kaya na it's awareness. Dapat we will learn these things. Pag-aralan natin or we'll go to somebody who is a marriage counselor kasi ang importante, Brad, will do whatever it takes to experience that happiness. Kaya mag-research din tayo and then i-apply natin. Yan. Ang research hindi lang na yung nagbasa ka, pwede tayong magtanong sa mga kapatiran na alam natin who will really share to us yung principles na yun. Gaya yung sinabi ko, yung 4, pagawin yun, Brad, softness, understanding, forgiveness, and touch. Yan. Isa na yan sa gagawin. Gaya sa iyo, Brad, matanong din kita, have you already applied this 4 na pinag-usapan natin?
Yung tinatawag softness na sabi mo kuminsan, may mga siguro masasabi natin may mga misis na showy, may mga misis rin na tahimik lang. So minsan gusto mo na yung softness na gusto mo magiging malambing ka o ano. Minsan iniisip mo yung para mapasaya siya. May mga hindi lahat na gusto kung minsan maybe applicable sa kanya. But maaari ba mag-deviate tayo doon sa mga ganun na sistema? So, i-adjust natin ang ating sarili sa gusto niya. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng ng mga asawa na may mga asawa na showy. Kumbaga mapagsalita, marunong siya mapasalita, iba naman kung tahimik lang ng mga asawa.
Kaya i-test natin, Brad. Let's apply the principles. Pero ang nangyari kasi, kaya gusto ko yung actual talaga kasi I can observe. Ano ba, kayo and your wife, I can even just by looking at both of you, bago pa tayo magsiseminar, yung normal ninyo na interaction, makikita ko na doon kung whether anong level kayo, masaya ba kayo sa marriage niyo kasi nakikita ko na yan, makikita ko yan. Mayroong ganon na mga kapatiran, nako, kasi hindi nila alam na magkaroon pala ng seminar, tinitingnan ko, an hour before nandoon na sila, yung pag-interact nila malalaman ko kung ano ang dapat kung ma-recommend sa kanila. Yan. Kasi pag i-apply tayo natin, Brad, loving tayo, affectionate tayo. Ang mga babae nga, iba-iba, mayroong talagang masalita, mayroong ding tahimik, pero all of them, more or less, they are in the same range. Pare-pareho lang sila. Yung sabing may exception, mayroon talaga yan, pero we are not working on the exception. We are talking about the universal principle na pag atin silang mahalin, yung softness, pagsasalita, i-understand natin sila. Kasi sa aking experience, Bad, mostly nasa lalaki we are the emotional leader sa family. Tayo, spiritual leader. We are the physical leader na parang nasa ating kamay pag-lead. Yan. So we will do whatever it takes to make our wives happy. Yan. So sabihin kong, kaya kung mag-meet tayo, nandiyan din ang wife mo, I can listen to both of you. Yan. Kasi hindi ko I cannot give just, sabihin nating package answer, kasi nga hindi ito lecture. Mas mahalaga sa atin dito yung processing, ipalabas ng naramdaman. Alam mo pala, yung wife mo, ang kanyang feeling is nasa 9. Din malalaman natin yan. Ang sayo, akala mo 3 lang, pero sa kanya 9 na. So, kaya I would rather do it that way. I don't want to make package answer na pareho sa lahat. Kung hindi, gusto kong makikita at makausap talaga na heart to heart yung mag-aasawa. Yeah.
Parang
Okay.
practical approach pala yan,
So,
Brad.
yung di pa nag-commit para bukas, may chance pa kayo. 8 o'clock bukas, up to 5. Yung mga couples hindi pa nag-commit kasi hindi pa eh. Contact me or just show up tomorrow
Yeah.
sa Untitled Chapter.
Nagawa ko na ito sa Davao last month and then doon sa Leyte, sa Tacloban, and then ngayon dito sa Maynila, next week doon na naman sa Cebu. Para nakikita ko if we can help the family, if we can help marriages, if we can strengthen marriages, that means we will have a strong homes. And in strong homes, we'll have a strong church. And children will be more stable, more fulfilled na nakikita ko hindi nila kailangan yung drugs. Usually yung mga nagda-drugs nga galing sa dysfunctional family. Pero yung happy family ay wala ang room for drugs. Yung mga masasamang barkada, wala yan. Kasi happy sila. So, just think about it. Na simple decision that husband and wife makes have a very longer, far-reaching repercussion na nakaka-affect pa yun sa kanilang mga anak, sa kanilang kapitbahay, sa kanilang mga kasama sa church. Yan. Yan naman pinakaki, strengthening the marriages, strengthening the home means a strong church.
Hands
So,
up si Brother Romel, Brad. Hands up siya.
Sino yan?
Brother
Si
Romel sa
Brother.
Ako, Brad.
yung taga Kalibo, Brad?
Di Alcala.
Sa Kalibo?
Alcala.
Ako yung nauna sa attendance, Brad, kanina na taga Pangasinan sa Alcala.
Oo, sa Pangasinan pala. Balang alaw, Brad. I'll be driving to Luzon. Pag stable na yung wife ko, kasi ang wife ko nagkaroon ng heart condition. I will try to visit you. Yeah.
Opo, Brad. May dalawa po akong clarification or siguro gusto kong marinig yung view niyo, Brad. Kasi naging OFW po ako.
Opo.
So, opo, si Romel po to.
Sige, brother.
Opo, ano po yung view nyo doon sa OFW, mga Pilipino na sa ibang bansa, nagtatrabaho, Brad. Tapos yung pamilya nila nandito lang sa Pilipinas, Brad.
That's a very, very good question, Brad. Dahil ang sagot ko niyan ganito. Umpisahan ko sa sa akin talaga, Brad, idiretso ko na. Go abroad when you are single. If you are married, don't go. Kasi God designed marriages. Sabi niya, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Itong human, kasali na yung mga human needs. Pupunta tayo sa abroad dahil kailangan natin ng more money. Pero with the risk of putting our family, our marriages at risk. And that is very true. Kadaming mababait na tao dyan, mababait na asawa, pero dahil ganito, Brad, we are people with desires. We have so-called drives. We have hunger drive. If you are gutom, kakain ka. You have thirst drive. Kung kayo'y nauhaw, iinom ka. How about the sixth drive? That is a strong, yung sixth drive. Drive yan eh. Isa yan sa basic drive talaga. Anong gagawin ng wife mo? Anong gagawin ng husband mo? Mayroong strong talaga sila dahil may family support. Halimbawa, na-isolate yung wife mo. Siya lang doon sa isang place at mga anak. Pumunta ako ng Hong Kong. I was a speaker there one time na hindi naka-schedule dahil lang hindi ako natuloy sa China. I have waited 2 days. Nagsalita ako doon. Naku, nang nalaman nila ako'y nagka-counseling, Brad, para akong linalanggam. halos lahat yung mga kapatiran na may doon, domestic helpers, pumunta sa akin at umiiyak, brother, ganito, puntahan mo sana ang aking husband, i-counseling mo dahil mayroon ng babaeng iba, mayroon mga ganyan-ganyan. So, huwag Brad, ito talaga ang stand ko. Sa mga hindi pa pumunta sa abroad na may asawa, huwag lang kayong pupunta. Mas mahalaga ang wife, mas mahalaga ang pamilya. Maghanap lang tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Through God's mercy, hindi tayo mas maraming pira sa abroad. Dito konti lang pero mabubuhay pa din dito. There's a way. We should rather obey God rather than economic demands, economic pressures. Yan. So to make the answer shorter, I don't believe on married people going abroad and leaving their family behind.
Salamat po, very clear po, Brad. Kung pwede pa pong isa. Susulitin ko na po. Opo. Yung about touch, Brad, kasi minsan sa medyo nagkakaedad, marami ng touch na need yung partner.
Opo.
Consider bang touch, Brad, yung pagkakamot ng ulo?
Yung hinahawakan mo ang buhok niya?
Yung kinakamot mo bago matulog, mga ganun, Brad.
Ang buhok sa partner.
Opo, yung ulo po sa
Oh
buhok.
yes. Yes, Brad. That's already
Counted yun?
counted yan.
Okay.
Counted yan. Pero ganito, dahil natanong mo yan, what happened on the bed, the sexual activity at bed is not counted. It should be non-sexual touches kasi maraming lalaki na mag-presume, anyway, nagsisex naman kami. Bakit kailangan kong mag-touch? No, that's not counted. Yan. Pero yung hinawakan mo ang buhok, o squeeze mo yung ilong, yung tinga, those are counted. 20 meaningful touch, pero walang overdose. The older we get, the older your wife gets, the more nadagdagan po yung 20.
Oh, salamat, Brad. Naging 11 na siguro si wife ngayon, yung rating niya.
11. Ay, naman.
Tanungin niyo.
Alam mo, Brad, napakagandang tingnan yung mag-asawa na happy sila. Hindi ba? Alam nyo, ang mga anak nyo nag-observe yan. Pag happy kayo, you love each other, ang laki ng impact niyan sa emotional health ng inyong anak.
Totoo po yan, Brad.
Pero natanong mo ang pinaka-serious na tanong. I appreciate that. Yung touches at saka yung approach.
Salamat, Brad. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Awan yaman na kabsat.
Sige po.
Oh, no more? From the wives who is
Yun.
Courageous enough to ask a question.
Will you agree about the woman's needs na ganon? Totoo ba yan? Gaya ng softness o gusto nyong pwede kayong sigawan lang, okay lang? Pwede ba kayong hindi touch o maganda yung tinatouch kayo? So sige, gusto nating marinig sa mga kapatirang babae. Do you think we are making sense here? Tama ba yung mga sinasabi natin na needs ninyo?
Ayaw
Yung
kong magtawag eh.
Kaya parang sino si sister Annalisa Palacio. Taga saan kayo, sis?
Balak yan, Brad.
Ha?
Mrs. ni Brother Jesse.
Okay. At si Sister Lilia. Yan.
Nanay ni Brother Romel.
Yan.
Ewan kung matapang magtanong si Gemma o kaya si Hazel eh. Tapang ba yan sila?
O yun. Na actually ganito, itong ginagawa natin mga kapatid, I will make it clear, this is the most non-judgmental. When we do this, kaya ng processing bukas, talagang wala yung judgment. Hindi ako nagja-judge. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to help each and everyone to raise that level of happiness, that bliss to number 10 again. Yan talaga. There's no room. Kaya ako nga, kung tanongin niyo ako yung sabing constructive criticism, it's still not good. Huwag yung criticism. Ang you go on from the perspective na what could we do? How can we make this better rather than criticizing? Useless yung criticism na yan. Kasi husband and wife are sensitive to those. No need to go back to the past. No need to blame. The concern is the here and now, from now on. Yan. Yan ang pinakamahalaga. No? So, okay lang. You can, huwag kayong mag-alala, mga kapatiran. Pag nagtatanong kayo, I know your husband will not be defensive, but rather will probably be enlightened in that. So,
Okay. Kaunti lang yung ating mga sisters dito eh.
kunti lang. Okay. That means ang mga lalaki concerned sila about
Oo.
making the relationship better, hindi ba? Yan ba ang ating interpretation dyan? O nagkataon na ngayon na kukunti lang mga babae? Ano? So, we are
Good,
just
oh.
we are just so blessed. I'm so thankful for the CPI and the Kasandal and Brother John and you all dahil naging ganito na napag-usapan na natin itong marriages. Napakalaga ito. Talaga. Kaya pag nagkakasal ako ngayon, kaya 2 Sundays ago, it will become like a counseling. I don't just talk to the groom and the bride, I talk to the whole audience. And afterward, makikita ko, bigla nga mayroon akong, samantalang kumakain ng lechon, nag-counseling na ako kaagad, sabi ko, schedule na natin kasi kakain muna ako ng lechon. Kadaming mga tao ngayon na talagang nag-struggle sila. Tayo mga Christian, we should do this strength, we'll make this better. Ano? Upang makatulong sa ating sa gawain ng Panginoon. We can reach out. Pag mayroon kayong ganitong group processing, invite niyo kahit mga non-members na parang tingin nyo kailangan ng tulong. Sige, invite. We don't limit. This is non-doctrinal. Let me tell you, hindi ito doctrinal. Kahit Jehovah's Witness na mag-asawa, pwede. Kahit Iglesia pa, pwede. Kahit Sabadista. Doon sa Negros, yung UCCP. 3 beses na ko in-invite. Yan. So, i-connect natin towards outreach at evangelism.
Sige bro, ating ulitin ng invitation para sa kanila. Pagkita sila bukas, mga alas 8.
Okay. If you happen to be near
Salawag chapter.
Salawag, yeah, you are welcome. 8 tayo mag-start. Okay? We will have a very, very honest and a very, very, sabi nating, soul-searching experience. It's not just being nice, na ganito, ganyan. It's not a debate, but just to pour out our heart and soul. So that our married life will experience the true bliss. Yung BLISS. Siya pala yung assignment nyo ngayon. Tonight, go to the dictionary and read the meaning of the word bliss. BLISS. Yan ang ating word tonight and that's our goal. Okay? Thank you and good evening to everybody.
Okay, let's have a prayer. Sino pang nandyan namin? Brother Mon, gising ka pa.
Yes, Brad?
Okay, Brad. Pakilid o prayer natin, Brad.
Brother, ano nga itong ating speaker?
Brother Richard, kalimutan
Richard
mo
pala.
na.
Oo. Sige, let us pray mga kapatid. Dakilat na ibigin namin Diyos, dakila sa lahat, lubos namin kagalakan Panginoon sa gabi ito, sa pagsama sa amin, sa pangunguna ni Kapatid Richard at Kapatid June na nagpahayag ng pag-aaral Panginoon na may pinalaman sa relasyon ng mag-asawa. Naway ito magbigay ng magandang kaalaman Panginoon kung paano pasibay ang bawat ugnayan ng mag-asawa. Sa patuloy, Panginoon, amin hagkan, Panginoon, ang spiritual na relationship ng bawat isa na mag-asawa ng patungo, Panginoon, sa pagkakilala na inihanda sa amin, Panginoon, nung nagkasama sila sa umpisa hanggang sa kanilang pagsasama sa ngayon. Gabayan mo po ang bawat isa sa kinabukasan, sa aktual na pag-aaral. Naway marami ang makadalo. At gabayan mo si Kapatid Richard, no, pahayag niya ang kanyang nalalaman na makabigay sa amin ng dagdag na gabay sa aming buhay bilang mga pag-asawa. Naway ang iyong kalooban lamang, Panginoon, ang iyong mga aral ang siyang magbigay sa amin ng gabay sa aming buhay. Ikaw ang siyang maghari sa aming mga sarili. Samahan mo kami sa gabing ito sa aming pag-iwalay. Salamat, Panginoon, na pamagitan ng ganitong pamamaraan sa online. Kami patuloy, Panginoon, mag-aaral, nagsasama, Panginoon. Naway, ikaw siyang patuloy, Panginoon, magbasbas sa bawat sa amin. Sa gabing ito, sa aming pansamantalang pangmahina, ingatan mo kami na sa kinabukasan muli para sa namin ang panibagong araw sa aming buhay. Muli, hingin namin yung gabay mo at patnubay at kapatawaran sa lahat ng pagkukulang at pagkakas. At ito ang dalangin sa pangalan ng Kristo Anak, Panginoon Kristo Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Richard. Thank you sa lahat.
Welcome sa inyong lahat,
Thank you.
mga kapatid